Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to be talking about Pharika. Now, she is a 3-mana 5/5 some of the time, but she is awesome all of the time. Couple mana, exile a creature, and you get a token. Now, there was a bunch of different ways I could go with this, but um, one thing that stuck out to me with Pharika, and I know it should have stuck out to me with like all 15 of the original gods, she's an enchantment creature. So for this one, I kind of wanted to go the enchantment route. Now, black-green is kind of a challenging way to go because white and green have all your, enchantment type creatures. But we'll give it a shot. Here we go. First off, let's talk about ramp. Or, maybe not so much ramp, maybe fixing. But I have the 3 guild ramps. Now, and the doublers, of course, the Zendikar Resurgent, which is just going to double mana because we don't have a whole lot of creatures. What is that? Like 8, 10? But we don't have a whole lot of creatures. It's just doubling our mana. Speaking of doubling, double meat, double cheese, of course, the Vernal Bloom, the Dictate, and those are pretty much the normal ones. If you'll notice, enchantments kind of heavy here. The Expedition is also fixing because you can go get some swamps with it as well. Now, Ranger's Path does have to get forest, but meh. I'm all out of explosive veggies, so. Now, Carpet of Flowers is underplayed, I believe. It's there's always going to be somebody at that table with islands. Even if you're only getting one, it's still paid for itself. So, and typically you're going to get more. Carpet of Flowers is one of those cards that does get forgotten. And it's not really easy for, if you run it out there on your turn 1 or early on, it's not that hardcore of a threat that just gotta has a counterspell. And any color and all. Iladomri's Vineyard. A lot of people use this in group hug style decks, but this is amazing. It used to be way better when Mana Burn was a thing. I'm hoping we get an enchantment called Mana Burn. But anyway. Far Wanderings. Far Wanderings is one of those cards that I just will not play unless I have Threshold. The difference in 1 land and 3 land? Hold on. Triple Rampant Growth? Okay. Yeah. That's why. And Mana Bloom. Now, Mana Bloom I actually used to some degree in Standard back when it was. But Mana Bloom is beautiful for those if you have the play an enchantment, do something cards. Draw a card, get a counter, whatever. Mana Bloom, not only can you put some mana on layaway, but if you just need to draw the card, you can spend 1 green, play it, and then it's going to come back during your upkeep. Now, let's see here. Things that work with enchantments. Of course, I am running the Helm of the Gods, and I am running the Crystal Chime. Just because there's, tranquility is a thing. It happens. Or I say tranquility, not the card, the effect. Because, very few. Let's go with some creatures now. Now, the Night Howler, creature and an enchantment. So if I do decide to play it as a creature, if I just gotta have that dude, I do get the triggers off of the Enchantress, drawing the card. I do get the trigger off of the Thought Render, Guardian. Now, I like the Fate Unraveler because it's a second copy of the Underworld Dreams. Now, the Herald of the Pantheon is kind of obvious include, uh, making them cheaper. Yavimaya Enchantress, she just becomes beefy. Now, I do apologize right now. Every Rancor I own is in use. She needs a Rancor. Corpsejack Menace. I do have a little bit of +1/+1 counter shenanigans rolling around here, and I figured why not with the Corpsejack. And my apologetic creature here is Glissa the Traitor. She has nothing to do with the deck other than the colors, and she is amazing. As far as 3-drops go, a 3/3 first strike death touch that can bring what your, yeah, that second ability doesn't even matter. It's first strike death touch 3/3 for 3. She can stall out a board state. She can protect you like no other. Love this chick. Now, those are it for the creatures. So I do have a little bit of removal, some board wipes. I felt a little better including a few more board wipes than normal in a green deck because it's, we ain't got a lot of creatures as yet. Putrefies, of course, spot removal, and then the Maelstrom Pulse for that nasty, nasty token decks. We'll go through the utility here before we get to the actual enchantments. Harmonize is just a great card, as is Praetor's Council. Siphon Mind does not get enough love. This is a 4-mana draw 3 spell. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Because typically you're in 4-player or more. Last night we had 6. This would have been an amazing card to draw last night for 4 mana. I could have drawn 5 cards. Speaking of card draw, if you've got the mana, you can draw a bunch of cards, or you could, essentially lightning bolt or fireball somebody, and it's life loss. So Treasure Find is our regrowth variant. Diabolic Tutor, Rise from the Grave, and I didn't realize how close. Okay. The Benefaction of Ronus here, when I read it, I went, man, this sounds really, really familiar. It's a 1 more mana commune from the god. So it can go, both of those two can go searching for enchantments. That is fine. Now, we got enchantments, and so far we don't really have a way to win. So we're going to do it with token wise, just in case our general doesn't get there. Landfall, get a dude. And then EOT, get a giant dude. And it protects you from flyers. So that's awesome. Now, Centaur Glade is where the money's at, because this guy, 4 mana colon. I love mana colon effect because, late game, I'm just going to activate it 3 or 4 times. It's beautiful. Now, as far as getting the tokens, of course, the Primal Vigor is going to help you double your tokens. And that kind of is what made me, I was like, well, +1/+1 counters aren't that bad. So, now the Death Pit Offering, if played early, there is absolutely 0 drawback because you're not going to have a whole lot of creatures anyway. Typically, this is one of your early plays, and you just, it's just a super anthem. The Oath of the Ancient Wood passes out a counter or 2. The Gift of the Deity, obviously we know where we're putting this. Okay, if we don't have Glissa, our backup plans to put it on Pharika because, yeah. Greater Good to sack some of those tokens. and draw some cards. Now, Stormfront is an amazing thing. I love this card. I've been playing with it since Tempest, but here again, 2 mana effect. As long as, you know, I can target that Joker, I'm going to tap it if I think you're coming at me. And if you come at me once, then I'll keep it tapped forever then. Now, the deed, it's just an insurance policy. I mean, it is a really good. The fact that it hits artifacts, creatures, enchantments is really, really nice. Now, Broken Fall is another one of those that I've always played and pulled back just to get the castability again. Oh, speaking of the Stormfront there, if it does have, you know, hexproof, we can get around that. We have the Grave Pact. Sorry about the, you know, foreign language. Feast of the Fallen. What I love about this is just the fact that we were playing multiplayer each upkeep. So now the Deadbridge Chant, you made yourself for 10. Hey, that gives me Threshold. Sweet. And then, you know, every turn you're going to get a card back. So that's all right. Death Heap Ritual. At the beginning of each end step if a creature died. So here again, multiplayer makes this really solid. Now, the Endless Scream is one that doesn't get a lot of love. Early on, if you're just sifting through common boxes and stuff, and you read this, you automatically think it's like a Howl from Beyond. No, this is a permanent, dude. This is an enchantment. So, yeah. Douthie Embrace is just going to make sure your creatures get in there. Or it's a very political card. It's going to make sure your opponent's creatures get in there. That makes it sweet. Now, Ancestral Mask is probably, you know, the best card in the deck. It is right up there with the Sanguine Bond. No, I do not have the other half of this combo in here because obviously this is the cheap half. The other one is the expensive half. But last but not least, I have the Beastmaster Ascension because, you know, our general makes tokens and we have a bunch of token makers and, you know, it's not going to be hard to get that 7 counters. Well, I do appreciate you watching. Y'all let me know what you think. That was Pharika. Black and green. I like the black-green enchantments, really do. Had a lot of fun with it. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.